Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be having a really interesting video. We're going to have the amazing musician Brandon Forte. He's the MD at Unity Church coming through the studio, and my best friend Cooper is also going to be here, Cooper Allen. And they're going to be exchanging some ideas. This is going to be a several part series, so definitely check out the ones to come. But we're going to start off with Brandon helping Cooper learn some gospel voicings and gospel ideas over the song Amazing Grace, which I'm sure a lot of you already know. Then in part two, we're going to be having Brandon talk about some of the patches, like the sounds that he uses in a gospel setting. And then in part three, we're going to have Cooper showing Brandon some of the jazz stuff, because Cooper has a jazz degree as well as I do. So we know a lot about jazz voicings and jazz cymbals and things like that, so we're going to be kind of helping Brandon learn those things, and Brandon's going to be helping us learn some more about gospel. So it'll be a little exchange of information. So I hope that y'all enjoy this following along. I'm going to try and have as much useful information on screen as possible, and if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below.
So I'm going to start like basic Amazing Grace, okay? So that would be like normally a C7, okay? Alright, dominant 7. The hymnal way you'll see it. Okay, so let's kind of explore some of those chords. So first, you know how we started with the C7. So let's take that C7 out for 4/5. So what a 4/5 is basically a 4 chord, which would be like major. If we're like looking at the scale, it's a major chord, and then over the 5, that would be your bass. So since we're in the key of F, first chord would be a 4/5. So B flat chord over C. Just intermediate stuff, okay? So then you would articulate the voicing, right? So all I have is a major, just a simple major chord, simple F. Okay? Now, if I would do it rootless meaning I'm not accounting for my bass note, right? So I'm using both hands. So this would be like kind of advanced, right? Okay. So all this is, and try to kind of like explain it real briefly. So I have it's really a G minor, right? I have a G minor 7 over the C. But as I extend it out, I get more voicings, alright? So if I were to spell out straight out G minor 7, G, B flat's the 3, D would be the 5, 5th interval, F would be the 7th, A would be 9, and then C would be 11, E would be 13. We're not extending that far, but alright, so I got this big, long, lush chord. So instead of doing all of this with one hand, I can spread it out. So where I got this F, I can put it down here. I don't have a G, but why not? Why not add that kind of ninth type interval? I got this up here, and then I can make my B flat chord simpler. And I can keep the voicing much closer. Alright? And there's different ways to voice this too. It can be voiced like this, or you can extend it, or no, don't do that. Don't do it. But okay. But that's essentially that concept, right? So then let's go to our 1. All right. Now in gospel music, and if you listen to CCM2, they really like sus2 and sus4s. So what sus2s and sus4s are if I take a regular major chord, so F A C. If I move my A down, to that second interval, that's that sus type feeling. Okay? Same thing if I did a sus4. There's a sense of you want to resolute it, right? So these chords have the tendency to want to resolve. But in this case, you know, since we're trying to like build, you add the sus in the voicing, right? It just makes it feel more complete. So let's go back. So, and also just like a little trick, where you place notes will give a chord a certain sound too. So you see how I played I added the, you know, that second interval late. That kind of helps too in terms of, you know, however you want the chord to speak. Okay, all right. So first we did the dominant voicing, right? Or okay, that'll be the straight one. That's the one you will see in the hymnal. If we were to build off this, you can do E flat over the F, because we're trying to get to B flat. That's the next chord we're trying to get to. Or if we're gonna go super crazy, okay, I don't even know how to name this. I would say this looks like an F augmented over a B. Okay, so you can incorporate that. So you could name it like that too, but I try to keep them separate, because once you start adding, if you did that, then now
that's like the piano way. Like I always see these slash chords when piano players write things, and from guitar, I always think from the root. Like
okay.
B altered.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Over.
But in this case, I try to keep them separate so that people know.
F altered over B.
Yeah, it's an F
augmented.
F augmented.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
So
you're using that instead of B flat.
I'm using that instead of staying on the one. Okay, so and I'm trying to get to B flat. Okay, so once I use this, so it makes the voicing easier. Okay,
so it's like a passing chord to
yes,
the 4.
It's definitely a passing chord. So with this B flat chord, I have it's an inverted 7th. So right, so that's what the chord would be. I just brought the A down since I was already right here. I didn't have to really move nowhere. If you want to add the 5, you can. So I would use that there, or any really extended voicing of the B flat will work. So whether you choose a regular triad or 7, or something crazy like a 9 or a 13, that's what you can do there. So the first time when I went back, sound, I went back to the 1. Gospel, we wouldn't do that. We would go to the 3. Okay, and all that is now we've inverted the bass note. So same chord, but instead of using a 1, we use a 3. Okay? And this is not even really a chord, it's more of a power chord, right? Yeah. Just with the 1, 5, 1 interval. Okay? And I'll do that a whole lot.
But then you put the 3 in the root, so it kind of changes the meaning of it.
Yeah, it kind of changes the meaning of the 3, because normally if you just go, but that's not what we want there.
So it makes it like 3, what, sus 2? Like if you think from the root of
yeah, A. Yeah. Or if you do like a whole 4th type thing, that's essentially what the concept is. But I just kept it simple and did a power chord. But if you want to do the
even sweeter.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just go back. So. here, we have a whole lot of options. We can just keep this straight. Okay? Or okay, that might be the traditional way. Diminish going to D minor, okay? But gospel, you hear a lot of these. It is really a West Coast thing. You hear a lot of these like minor drop two type movement things. So I would just probably do. Okay, so this D minor, it is looks like a 9. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a 9. Okay. D minor 9 here. So you have a lot of choices when it comes to that A chord. Some might even approach it majorly. Okay, probably the hymnal way. So there's a lot of choices when it comes to moving. So you can do major, diminish, or augmented, going to the D minor. But we still got that voicing on top. Alright, now we can do a whole lot here.
So you call it aug, but like jazzers would call that altered.
Exactly. Yeah. Or
sharp 5. Yeah.
Or just a simple G over A will work too. Okay. Yeah, you have a lot of flexibility here. So now this is where the reharm comes in. Okay. So we can think about a lot of chords that has this G and this C in it. So I can go, I can do that. Which is basically, it's an inverted C major chord. That same concept we did on the 3 is placed here. Or, right, that's probably what jazz would do. So, already like me. Whatever, right? Or like, right? We can even choose a B flat minor. But all in all, it don't matter really what you do. You're just trying to get
The F and the C.
You're just trying to get back to the 5. So like me, you do it like that, or like me. Right, or like. So you have a lot of options there. Back to the 1. So we got that 3 again, but now instead of doing that dominant over the 1, I've done it over the 3. Then we can go back to the 4, or I can do what you'll hear in church. Right, so we can kind of resolve that. It's real church. The diminish on the flat 5. And then we got this minor voicing right here. Alright, I know I'm moving fast, so I'm going to go back. So, and this, you hear this in church live. Okay, so what all this is just a diminished movement. And I just inverted there. Okay. Was blind, but now I see. And then you can really play around. What chords has F in it? I see. Okay, so those are just like a few ideas you can kind of like play around with this song.
So I have a question. How do you agree on voicings? Like I know when we're playing at church, you have your talkback mic, and a lot of times you're saying like 3 or whatever chord we need to go to. But like if you're playing with a guitarist or even another piano player, how do you because there's so many options. How do you agree on what you're gonna do and not clash?
So it's all about the language and what kind of we would think would be implied. So let's say I go back to the one, right? If I were to say 7-3-6, right? Normally what's implied is so we know we gotta augment it, minor. Right? So it's just all about that language and what's implied. Or some people might approach it minor, diminish. But in certain situations like that, you'll kind of hear, like especially like me and Jay, like if we kind of like approach something differently, I'll say, okay, I heard what you did. Next time our voicings will agree. Or he'll say, oh, I like what you did. Next time our voicings will agree. So like just to go over like language too, for those who don't know, like we talk in numbers, right? Because it makes it much easier than saying C, G, A, F, right? It just makes it numbers. You can put it on any key, and it'll all the chords will correspond. So just so people know, in a song like this, anyway. So your first chord, your one chord would be major, 2 would be minor. In classical terms, you will have it's a 1. Although we say it's a 1/3, they'll say 1 first inversion, right?
Yeah.
So that's the chord that's implied, that you want to play a major chord there.
Instead of minor?
Instead of minor, yes.
Interesting.
Some songs it calls for the minor, but in this case, not this one. 4 chord would be major. 5 chord depends on the song. So like we had that situation at church a week ago, where you played
dominant.
You played the dominant, and I was telling you, well, in this case,
take it out.
Just major, you know. But for this song, it's definitely the dominant, right?
Well, and then I was asking you, when do we play 4/5 versus just straight 5?
Yeah. So and something like that, I'll normally call. And it depends on your song too. Like, so you have to really listen for your 5. Your 5 can be straight, or your 5 can be minor, or your 5 can have that dominant feeling. You just have to know. And so you know all throughout the song, whenever your MP or whoever says 5, you know that's the first voicing. Unless I say major 5 or minor 5, whatever, I'll specify it so that the person who's playing know what kind of 5 I'm looking for. The 6 is minor, and then the 7 is kind of that same concept we did with the 1. So you know how the 3 is kind of major, the 7 is the same. This is what we'll look for in a 7. Now, if we're playing a song, if I call out a particular pattern or a particular feel, then they'll know. Or if I say 5-1-4, we just know what that is. And that just takes with listening to songs and stuff. You'll hear those movements very often, and so if they're called out, then you just know, that's where to go.
You got any questions?
A lot of questions.
Go.
I mean, no, mostly I think I need to try to do it myself, and then you can tell me what I'm doing wrong.
Okay.
And so let's see. I'm trying to put together all the stuff you just said.
Yeah, so we can just do it. We can walk chord by chord.
Okay, cool. Right?
Yeah.
And then we said,
yeah.
Yeah, probably that.
So that chord you picked, so that save, it's a minor.
Okay,
Yeah.
C minor.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's work out some kinks there. Because you have chords. Now it's, okay, let's say if somebody was singing, how would they feel? Or how would they feel playing?
Right.
So I'm going to pretend to sing. I do not sing, you guys.
Okay.
I'm going to pretend to sing. And then we'll just see how it sounds. All right, so, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved. All right, let's challenge that right there. Like me. I'm gonna show you guys this either. I should. That's that at last chord, right? I'll do that sometimes too. Okay, and I'll slow that down. So, inverted B flat, C major, B flat, C major, C augmented. I know that was real fast, but yeah. Yep. So let's try to put that in, okay?
Okay.
So let's go back. So amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch. Nope, 2 chord.
Okay.
Like me. Yep. I was lost, but now I'm found. So what I would do there. Okay.
Okay.
So it feels like you're still like getting back to what the song is. So I was lost, but now I'm found. Okay.
So
Yeah,
going to
so
the
keep
3,
what you
not
did.
going back to 1, kind of just
Yeah,
like keeping
so
it alive.
but now I'm found. So don't go to the 3 just straight off.
Okay.
Walk into it.
But now I'm found. Yeah, so then it's like, okay, I'm comfortable with that. Was lost, but now I'm found. Yeah, was blind, but now I see. Yeah, cool. Sweet. Dope. All right, anything you want to add?
Maybe.
Okay, you want to put that in there. So you want that in the song, or you want to
No,
end that?
I was just thinking of something that might sound cool.
Yeah, so I would say too, like I know a lot of times with gospel, things are moving so fast. So especially with songs like this, you start slow and then you kind of build up the pace because like I was saying earlier, you want to establish the song. Oh well, we was talking off camera. So like whenever I do music at the church, or really if I'm like being over anything, I like to establish the song before I start doing curly cues or moving fast or doing any special accompaniment, anything. Right. So if you're to play that song the first time through, straight. Keep it straight. Maybe not hymnal straight, but keep the chords like basic enough so that people can, be able to sing the melody line and you're not in the way. And then as you're going, then you can, express yourself.
All right, y'all. That was a lot. I know there was a lot of information just covered there. I'm still like reveling in all of that, and I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this video like 10 times so I can understand it better, apply it to my instrument. But I hope that y'all can glean some information from this. Brandon is such a freaking amazing player. If y'all want to follow him, I think his Instagram handle is Forte Enterprises on Instagram, and he is always posting up informational stuff like this, as well as performance opportunities. If you play an instrument and you're looking for work, he can really help you out by finding it. He does that for me all the time. He's an amazing person, such a kind soul. And I just want to say thank you, Brandon, for coming through the studio and sharing this information with us. We're gonna have, this was part 1 of a 3-part series, so next up we're gonna be talking about different voicings, patches, things like that. So I hope that y'all can take some information from that, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Leave any comments or any questions you have below, and I'll try to ask Brandon and see if I can answer them for you.